Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Weekly Emmy Talk, where it's a very special episode. It's the penultimate episode before the Emmy ceremony on September 12th, following Monday. And I am joined by Trevor and Thomas from Oscar Buzz to talk about some Emmy buzz today.
Hello, yes.
Hello,
excited.
hello. I know. We're out of our depths, but
We are, but it's still award stuff, so
Totally.
still always fun to talk about.
we have an understanding kind of everything
Yeah.
that's going on. So
this is my first season truly following the Emmys as well. So don't expect a ton of stats or all that knowledge from any of us. Just going with our guts.
Absolutely.
And what we like sometimes,
It's what we like. Yeah.
So starting off with the best comedy series. This is, I think, out of all the different three categories, I think the hardest to predict for me, at least, is the drama categories. I think limited series is the easiest. So we'll start off in the middle with comedy series, where right now I'm going to lean Ted Lasso personally, just because it got the most nominations and I think it has the most support from the whole Academy overall, because it got some tech nominations. My runner-up would be Abbott Elementary, because the buzz surrounding that show is very good. It did just recently win at the HCA TV Awards, which we were talking about, which also predicted Coda, as you mentioned. Yeah. So this is kind of, I could see a similar path. It's like feel good, it's smaller. But the only thing that worries me with that is it only got 7 nominations overall. So it missed directing, which is very hard to win without directing, I'm pretty sure. And it has no like tech support. Like none of the tech voters seem to have really gone for it. But none of the tech voters also went for Coda.
I was gonna say that, Jack. Like obviously the Emmys and the Oscars are two completely separate things. But as you were describing Abbott Elementary, you literally just described all of the reasons why we said no Coda. So like I'm going for Abbott Elementary. I have seen half of it by watching half of it while my mom was watching it, who loved it. So it's got the mom support. Which like it's a very feel good thing. It's very funny. It's also, I believe, the only network show.
It is.
So I could see them kind of rallying behind a network show. As we're seeing all the streaming stuff, some of the older Emmy voters who want to get back to some of the network voting, the broadcast series rather than all the streaming stuff. There just seems to be a lot of love and a lot of passion for it. So I'm going to Abbott Elementary in the upset. It should be Hacks. In my personal opinion, but it's going for Abbott Elementary.
That makes sense. I personally has gone with Ted Lasso as well. I do think that is a fairly clear number one at the moment. I do think Abbott Elementary could, surprise, but I think Ted Lasso, if you look at all the nominations in the category, it's got the most nominations elsewhere. Plus, I think there is a place, which I won't spoil, but I think Abbott Elementary might be rewarded there instead of here.
Yeah.
So, if they do want to spread around the love, I think maybe that is a place where they'll do it, and we'll obviously get to there. But yeah, I think Ted Lasso is a fairly safe choice at this point. Like,
to be fair,
the Emmys, a big fan of Series 2, I still think, it's still probably warranting of an award or two here. It's a very well-made show.
Yeah. The only thing I worry is that the Emmys haven't really been known for spreading around the love.
They like their repeat winners.
They like to really just chunk it up. So,
and I will say as well, I have given Ted Lasso a lot of other wins.
Predicting Abbott Elementary may be a bit bold, but why not take the swings?
I think it's number 2. So
I could definitely also see it being the kind of show that, like, just because it started off so strong in the first season, comes back to win for its second season
later.
But
that could definitely make sense. So
I think it's definitely like a possible.
Schitt's Creek, almost where that really came on a lot later in its run.
Totally. So that's what we got for series right now. Next category, a little bit easier, I think. Best comedy actress. Jean Smart. Anyone disagree?
Give it to Jean Smart.
Yes.
She's so good. She's so good in the second season. I would say even better than the first. Like, it's just an incredibly good performance. Just give her everything.
But like, I've heard a lot of people love it, and if they are going to want to give it somewhere, it's going to be here. Like, she is definitely number one at this point, and I don't think anyone else can really overtake her. Like I
It'd be
think this is
Quinta
maybe one of the
Brunson, I
most-
think, if anything, if they really wanted to go
Yeah,
for Abbott
but,
Elementary and it was
I
really
think this
pulling
is
off the
maybe one of the
upset.
most
But yeah,
loved categories at this point. Like
I would
think
agree.
she
I would
is
agree.
So far ahead
It's
of anyone else.
just very obviously Jean Smart. Yeah.
Yeah, she's the face of the show, and I think this is where
Yes.
they will award the show. So
Yep.
yeah, simple enough. Now a little trickier. Best comedy
Yeah.
actor. We've got two people here who have both not ever lost for their shows. Bill Hader has won twice for the first two seasons of Barry. Jason Sudeikis won for the first season of Ted Lasso. It's really hard here. I'm gonna say Bill Hader, just because he
I
has
am too.
won two
Yeah.
times before.
Okay. I'm going broke here then, I guess. I'm going Jason Sudeikis.
You're going Jason?
If you're giving
Okay.
Ted Lasso best comedy series, I don't really understand why Jason Sudeikis wouldn't come with it. As like you said, with Gene Smarts being the face of Hacks, he is. I mean, he's a titular character. So yeah, I'd go with Jason Sudeikis.
Well, to be fair, so is Bill Hader, and I think
that is true.
like,
but like Barry, I don't think will be as a big a thing as Ted Lasso will be. So.
I don't know, like his performance specifically has gotten so much love for this season. Like
he's really good. The only thing I worry about is
Sudeikis. Everyone loves Ted Lasso.
it's not the most comedic performance though. Like
it's
Barry's
comedic
almost turning into a drama at this point.
Yeah.
Like it's like I understand why it's still in comedy, but it's like it's kind of almost a drama. But like also I don't know. I just feel a lot better about Bill Hader. I mean, I'm also not predicting Ted Lasso doing comedy series, so I don't feel really obligated to go to Sudeikis here. So
yeah, I would also say I don't think we should rule out The Only Murders in the Building. Either one of those two could sneak in an upset. Like if they want to honor that somewhere, I think
I don't know.
Really the only place you can go.
I think that if they did, like if they were going to go for one of them, they would split votes. So
I think so.
that is true. That's the only problem.
Like
if there was only
one standout.
Right. If there was only one of them, then like, you know, maybe they could like pull off a shock win, but like, you know, there's no particular, you're not going to rally behind either one. None of them really stood out too much, I think, in the second season. So yeah.
Yeah. I would agree. So we're going a little more conflicted there, but I'm going to stick with Bill Hader. But I don't know if you're talking about comedy performance, he might not be the best comedy performance, but performance in general.
I think he's the best performance.
Yeah.
Out of what I've seen. Yeah.
Totally. Now on to comedy supporting actress, where I'm going a little against the grain here. I'm going with the Abbott Elementary love. I am picking Janelle James.
I am
Abbott
too.
Elementary.
I'm going for Janelle James here, going for the upset.
Yeah, I guess I'm just playing it a little safer than you two because I'm going for Ted Lasso, another one here. I don't know. I think Ted Lasso has a good chance of sweeping most of what it's up for. So yeah, I mean I don't see why, especially since the role Hannah Waddingham had in the second series was like bigger than the role she had in the first series. So like I think this very well could happen, and I do think she is the favorite and the more safer thing, but I could see Janelle James upsetting as well.
What about our other Hannah, Einbinder?
Yeah.
From Hacks. I think that she's great. It's just, I agree. It's not as showy of a performance as Jean Smart. Like if it's getting anywhere, it should be Jean Smart. I think that she's also like, she's very, very good. It just isn't the flashiest of the performances, but like,
I think people just also think of, when they think of that show, they just think of Jean Smart more so than
I would
her.
Agree. I don't think,
I think it's good that she gets the nominations, and I think she's very deserving. I just think people don't think of her as much as they should for that show.
Yeah, even though they should. Like she's great, but I don't know. Janelle James, like she kind of feels like she carries a lot of like the heart of the show a bit, I would say. So like it's a very hard performance to dislike. So yeah, I mean, and also Waddingham's already won, right?
Exactly. That's why I was saying like she won when she had a smaller role. So like if she's got a bigger role,
well, that's true.
Why would she not win as well?
She also submitted a good episode. She submitted that funeral episode, which is a good episode for her.
That's true. That is a very strong. What did Janelle submit?
She submitted, I believe, like Superintendent versus the School or something. I think was the second to last episode. It's a good episode for her. I think she's dead.
Yeah.
The thing is, I think if you've seen the series, she stands out in like every scene she's in. I do think she is the comedic highlight of the show
across the whole season. So I know the episode submission thing still like it's very weird to me.
I don't know
Yeah,
how
it's a
much
weird
they
system.
truly matter, to be honest. I
Yeah,
think
'cause I
yeah.
think
if they've
most
seen your
Emmy
show,
voters, they're the
I don't
super
think they're going to
show.
go out of their way to watch like one specific episode in the middle of the season.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's very weird, but
it
all
is
right.
odd.
Been
Supporting
split this whole
actor
time.
is an easier one, I think.
Yeah.
We'll all probably agree. So lack of competition here. Brett Goldstein for Ted Lasso.
Yeah. It's pretty simple, and
Yeah.
deservedly so. He's I know. I would argue he's the best performance of this series.
Definitely of the second season. Yeah.
I'd probably
Yeah.
agree. And like he's also maybe the most beloved character in the show, even though it's called Ted Lasso. Like everyone
Yeah.
talks about Roy Kent anyway.
Yeah.
Plus he seems to be making big waves in Hollywood as well. Obviously, he's going to be in upcoming Marvel films. So like he's a prominent face right now. He's a prominent figure in the industry. So like I think
There's no reason not to.
Screams a win here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, totally. Any runner-up, I think, would be Henry Winkler, but I think he's far and away
one of the
front
Barry
runner.
boys, either him or Anthony Carrigan, I would argue as well. But
yeah. Speaking of Barry, best comedy directing, I feel like, I mean, we got to go with Bill Hader for 710 North. That episode is,
yes,
I think one of the best directed episodes of the entire season over in all in general. So,
I mean, also having it being Bill Hader, like you can, like, it's it makes a lot of sense. I think runner up would be either the Ted Lasso episode, the funeral episode, or Hacks for There Will Be Blood. I think is also pretty strong. Which is just also a very well directed episode. But like, how would you not go for 710 North?
Yeah. Hacks did win directing last year, but they didn't have the competition like Barry.
I also don't know why the Miss Pat show is here. I'll just shout it out as a nominee. That's
no clue. Also,
very strange.
Congratulations to them.
Yeah.
You one episode in.
Yeah. Good job. Now into best comedy writing, where I think we were hinting towards it a little earlier. I have Abbott Elementary winning. I think this is where they will
for the pilot
award. This is where they'll award the show, kind of like they did with Michaela Cole for I May Destroy You last year. She didn't win actress, didn't win series, but they gave her a win with writing. And I think this is where they'll award Quinta Brunson.
That was my thoughts as well. Like I went for Elementary here. Again, like I could see Hacks winning, I could see Ted Lasso winning, but I think it is the front runner at the moment, especially when you are considering the other awards. And like, if they do want to spread the love, this feels like the safest place to bet. But Elementary will pick up something. And
especially as you mentioned, it being Quinta Brunson getting the writing, like I didn't look too far into the history of the Emmys, but it feels like they, for both writing and directing, when it's somebody who's also in the show, they like to kind of lean towards those to give it to our our actor writers, actor directors. Similar to how at the Oscars, screenplay typically is going to go to a writer director.
Yeah, totally
makes sense.
So that is it for the Primetime Emmy comedy categories. Now on to limited series, where I think it gets a little bit easier. Best limited series. This is the overall best limited series categories where I have the most trouble picking a winner. I think it's obviously down to 2 shows because it seems like based off nominations, they've only seen 2 shows. White Lotus and Dopesick. White Lotus definitely got many more nominations, and it surprised me how good it did on nomination morning. But Dopesick is the show that has more of a message to it. So I'm conflicted. You guys may sway me, but right now I'm going to say the White Lotus over Dopesick.
Okay. I'm going for Dopesick.
I'm going for Dopesick as well.
Okay.
And some of this is due to personal bias. Like I thought the White Lotus was fine at best. I don't know why it got all the acclaim it did, but it did, in fairness to it. And it is definitely number 2 for me. But like, I think Dopesick, like it's got Michael Keaton in, it's got the bigger names in. It just feels like the bigger sort of thing overall. And I can see White Lotus winning, but currently I've got Dopesick.
The other thing that, like, I don't know, it got a lot of nominations, particularly in supporting. And again, it kind of feels like they just watched one thing. I don't know how much will play into it that it came out a year and 3 months ago. Like it's been a minute. Like, yes, it got a bunch of noms. but like as you said, it just I almost chalk that up to just they didn't see that much. And like it's
Yeah,
also been a
they
while
don't.
since like Dope Sick, but like I don't know, like even just looking at like the SAGs and like Critics' Choice last year, like Dope Sick seemed to just be getting so much more love, I
Yeah.
guess. Like pre-nominations for the Emmys, I think it was kind of easily Dope Sick, at least in my mind. And
Yeah.
then after White Lotus got so many, I I don't know. That's the only reason why I would put it above, but I still see Dope Sick holding on. Just as you mentioned, I think it's a much more powerful show. I think it's going to stick in people's minds a bit more as just an overall series. So that's what I'm that I don't know. That's what I'm leaning towards currently. But
Yeah.
Gold Derby disagrees. But
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Dope Sick and White Lotus are top two on pretty much all of the categories, but yeah, White Lotus does seem to be leading it on Gold Derby. So
yeah,
I guess
but
we're in the minority here.
Yeah, it's very close. I'm tempted to switch. I'm gonna stick with White Lotus
Yeah.
for now, but who knows? Night before I might switch to Dope Sick.
yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, it is. A little easier now. Best limited series actress. I'm going with Amanda Seyfried for the drop.
Obviously, I mean she's great in it
same.
as well.
Yeah.
But like, it's
Yeah.
And this
What-
is like the only limited award I have going to someone other than White Lotus or Dope Sick. So
yeah.
Yeah,
they will
exactly.
at least want to give something to
And
someone
like,
else.
Yeah,
who else? Who else is it going to go to here? Like Lily James.
it
like
would. She'd
it's
be the runner-up, I guess,
it's
just
just
because that show
obviously-
did get
Yeah.
that show did overperform and get.
I know
10
somehow it got
nominations.
limited instead of like Made or Under the Banner of Heaven. It was very weird.
Oh,
But
yes.
yeah, it's just obviously Amanda Seyfried. Like,
Yeah.
how would you not?
Yeah.
How would you not?
Yes, agreed. Speaking of obvious, best limited series actor, even more obvious, Michael Keaton, Dope Sick. Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
Again.
a pretty stacked lineup in terms of names. I think obviously Michael Keaton wins this one.
Yeah.
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 I'm still mad that Jessica Chastain didn't get nominated for Scenes from a Marriage.
I know.
That
And Oscar
still
Isaac
annoys
did.
me. And Oscar, like Jessica Chastain was like, I mean, Oscar Isaac's good, but like Jessica Chastain's so much the stronger performance in that. It's just still annoying. But Toni Collette got in, which is fun. But like,
yes, that was very nice. Julia Garner
Yeah.
for Inventing Anna got in also.
well, that's
an interesting
kind
choice.
of a crime, especially when you're leaving out Jessica Chastain. But
Yeah.
you know,
Agreed.
as
Yeah.
you do, Academy.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think there's a runner-up here. Maybe Sebastian Stan, but
Either him or Garfield, I would say, is the runner-up. But like, it's just
Yeah.
obviously Michael Keaton.
yeah.
Like, it's just
and especially if we've got Dope Sick winning as well. Like, how can you
Yeah.
go with Keaton?
How can we
Yeah.
not?
And his speech where he was late, but it was he was in the
Yeah,
bathroom,
the
but he came
sex,
late.
yeah.
But it was also very emotional about he was talking how he lost a family member to the opioid crisis. So I think it's very much his time here. Supporting actor, I have Murray Bartlett for White Lotus.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Simple
It's
enough.
just pretty easy. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really see a runner-up there because he's the clear standout of the White Lotus people, but I don't think there's a clear standout of the Dope Sick people, personally.
No, I'd agree. And I'd also say he's the clear standout of the show. I think he does give the best performance out of anyone in the cast. So yeah,
Totally.
if you're going to give the award to someone in the cast, I'd definitely give it to him. Having said that, like supporting actors as well, I won't spoil, but I have also gone with a White Lotus actress there as well.
Yeah, supporting actress Jennifer Coolidge.
Just Jennifer Coolidge.
I think
I would keep
White
an
Lotus is
eye on a
definitely
random
something.
Caitlin Deaver. I would keep an eye on
also.
it. I think that could just like weirdly happen, but as of now, Coolidge seems fairly simple.
Yeah, I
Just
mean,
I'd agree.
Caitlin Deaver could kind of be like what Julianne Nicholson was to Catherine Hahn last year. The more dramatic, underseen performance, overtaking the more comedic performance from a more overdue actress, I would guess. But I guess ever since last Emmys when Coolidge came on the stage and she got like a minute standing ovation, she kind of had it in the bag, I think. There's a lot of love for her.
Yeah. It feels obvious.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And I'm looking forward to her speech.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Now directing. This is a trickier one for me. I want to say Station 11 because I think that is the best directed of the nominees here, but it didn't get into series, so I don't think it's going to win. when I think of the two shows, I think direction wise, I do think White Lotus is a little bit stronger. And it's also like just one mind behind the whole thing. So I'm going with White Lotus, but I could easily see it being Dopesick.
I've also gone for White Lotus similarly, just because it's a very singular vision.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, and not to get into writing, but like, I think regardless, these categories are going to split. Personally,
I would agree, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
And like, it is honestly like pretty much a 50-50 for me. Which one takes directing, which one takes writing? I just think White Lotus, you know, probably the stronger in this category. So yeah, I've also got White Lotus. So.
Yeah. And then writing,
we've alluded to it. Yeah.
I would go with
Dopesick.
Dopesick. Yeah.
Dopesick,
Yeah. But I think if Dopesick wins directing, we could see White Lotus end up winning writing. Like,
Yeah.
I just have a gut feeling that these categories are going to split.
Yeah.
So
it's a very close race. So it's not like one of them is leading the other one greatly.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That's limited series. Now into, I think, the toughest of them all. Not right in the drama series in particular category, but in the acting categories. Best drama series overall, I think, is going to be pretty clearly Succession.
Yeah.
As it should be.
Yeah.
I
It's
wish
pretty
that we could see
unstoppable.
Severance popping up a bit higher
also.
into here, but like,
I think it's the runner-up, honestly.
You don't think it's Squid Game's the runner-up?
I think it would be.
I think Squid Game, like its popularity has just dropped completely. Like, it was a thing back in whenever it was released. I think it was like September, October time, and now this time, you know, a year's.
I mean,
time, it's just done. Like, no one's talking about it anymore. I think it was lucky, honestly, to get as many nominations as it did.
I mean, hey, I'm not going to complain if we're saying that Severance is the runner-up, because yes, please. But like, I don't know. So
yeah.
We'll talk about actor.
Well, yeah. I think it's those are the clear top three at the very least.
Yes.
I don't really see anything else contending for a win.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that, especially since Better Call Saul, like this, it's only taking into account half of Series 6, and Series 6 itself was a bit shaky up until, like, I love the finale as much as everyone else, but you know, looking at a whole package, I don't think it's really a contender here. So yeah, I would agree those are the top three.
I didn't realize that it was only half the season. That's weird.
Yeah, I think those are the.
It's the same thing with Stranger Things, right?
Yeah.
Strange.
The last two episodes are going to be next
year. Then it'll be 2 episodes of Stranger Things, and that's not a TV series, but.
And that's going to be eligible for best series though.
Next year, yeah.
That's very dumb.
It's an odd, I don't know why the Emmys just don't do by year. Why it like ends in May, but who knows?
Like, especially since like we aren't getting as many broadcast stuff now. Like, it's like with how streaming stuff works, it's anyways.
It's an odd choice. That's for sure. Best drama actress. This is tricky. There's been the past few years here at the Emmys, there's been some upsets in this category. Olivia Colman winning over Emma Corrin, Zendaya beating Laura Linney. But I think I'm gonna go with the front runner still. I'm gonna go with Zendaya, just because, and at least in my personal opinion, I think it is the clear best acting on display here. I think the acting in particular that in the episode that she submitted in episode 5 is probably the best work of her career, to be honest. She's really good in that episode. But if they liked Yellow Jackets, and if they want to award it somewhere, this is where they're gonna do it.
This is where they would award Yellow Jackets. I mean, because Yellow Jackets overperformed. Yellow Jackets did a lot better than I was.
As did Euphoria to an extent. Like,
that's fair.
Nobody really liked Series 2. I thought Series 2 honestly was straight up bad, and I think it was lucky to get. I think Zendaya would still be deserving of a nomination anyway, but like, it definitely overperformed. So there's clearly some still love for Euphoria within the voting board. So I've also gone for Zendaya. I'll wait that clear now.
Yeah, it went from 4 nominations in season 1 to I believe 16 nominations in season 2, including a series nomination,
which is wild. It should be like the reverse,
the opposite. It definitely should be. But I think it's just the awareness of season 2 was much wider around voting. But this is tricky. I'm very tempted to go with Melanie Lynskey, but
I haven't said I'm also gonna go with Zendaya for now, but I really want to go for Melanie Lynskey. Like, I really want. It's just hard to deny Zendaya though, because like I agree, and like I didn't think that Euphoria season 2 was bad. I still like thought that it was fairly decent. It definitely isn't as good as season 1 was, but like still thought it was good, but like Zendaya's just so strong.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd say she's
definitely the
better
best
in
part
this
of
season
Euphoria.
than in the
I would
first
agree.
season, to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah. So
Maybe, yeah, I could see. Yeah,
she has a lot more
that
to
makes
do,
sense.
I guess. I would say like
Yeah.
there's a lot more going on within her performance. So like, yeah, I guess I'm going Zendaya, but I don't
Yeah.
It's
like
a
it.
hard one.
I
Yeah.
I can see
feel
that.
like
Yeah, all
Yeah.
of these acting categories, I agree, are hard to call. Great
They're
number of
difficult.
things could happen in each one.
yeah.
Yeah. Which if Zendaya does win here, I believe she'll be the first Black actress to have won twice here. I believe Viola Davis never did for How to Get Away with Murder. So
Well,
that
Interesting. Okay.
will be a nice achievement.
Absolutely.
Now on to Best Drama Actor. Oh my God, this is even harder. In my
I've done a
opinion.
thing. I did a thing.
Lee Jung Jae.
No, Bob Odenkirk.
Oh really? Oh wow.
You did what? Okay, now I very seriously thought about doing Bob Odenkirk. Now I think, though, like if you're taking into account it's only half a series, I think it doesn't make sense for him to get the win now. I think
Here's
he's
the
nominated
thing.
for most of the series. I think
Here's
they'll give it to him
here's
for the
the thing.
last one, and that'll sort of wrap up a nice narrative.
Here's the
been
thing.
nominated every time. but
How
he didn't win
much
that last time.
how much are voters going to like actually take into account that this is only half the season? How much are they going to be like, I
Well, that
watched
is-
Better Call
that's one
Saul,
thing.
I liked it, and here is Bob Odenkirk's name, and he was great.
That
I-
that could play into it.
Like
Yeah.
Lee Jung Jae and Brian Cox, like on paper they make sense. They
Mhm.
just don't. I don't know. It doesn't feel right to put either of them as winners for me. So
Yeah, and maybe this is like I think he is deserving of a Emmy at some point. I just think he should get it next year if we're being fair about it. Which maybe we shouldn't be like considering fairness into the equation, but
I just
because-
think
Yeah.
that there's too much passion behind it. It just I don't know.
everyone did
It's
love her finale. Everyone
it's
loved the
it's a
finale.
weird pick, but
And
I
it's
just think
great
it's like
intro.
the most talked about performance out of any of these right now. I don't even go as far to say any of the acting performances, like in drama in any of the drama acting categories. It's easily the most talked about performance right now. I don't think it matters that much that like technically it's only half the season. I
Mhm.
think that like he could get enough support where they're just like, he was great in this final season. I'm voting for him.
Yeah, yeah. The only thing I worry about with that is Better Call Saul has like 40 something nominations and it has not
Yeah.
won a single Emmy in its entire run. So I just wonder how much the voters are actually watching the show, to be honest.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
that's
like I don't know
that's-
as well
Mm.
how many. Like I think enough people like Better Call Saul, but to call it their favorite, I don't know how many people do that. So,
But favorite performance?
favorite performance I could see. I
Definitely
don't know. I'm just
possible.
factoring fairness into the equation.
Like, do
here,
people
like,
have that
he
much
shouldn't win
passion
here. He shouldn't win
about
here.
Lee
He
Jung
shouldn't win next
Jae's
year.
performance? Like,
I don't have
is
Lee Jung Jae winning.
Succession going to split votes between Cox and Strong?
I think so, because neither one of them is a bigger standout than the other, I think.
Right.
So I think they'll
So
split.
who does that? I don't know. I
Leaves.
got a feeling about Odin. Are you going Lee Jung Jae?
I'm going Lee Jung Jae, yeah. Just
Oh,
because
okay.
I think
Different things then.
I think those two are gonna split, Brian Cox and Jeremy Strong, because neither one of them is a standout. And Lee Jung Jae did win the SAG. He's won a good amount of awards for this category. And I think this is where they'll award Squid Game, probably. And
I think
just
they're going to award
don't
it
know.
somewhere else. I think they're
gonna
awarding
award
it somewhere else.
else
Okay,
as well.
okay.
I also didn't think his performance was that great. Like he was good, but I don't think he was the best part of Squid Game in any way. I've
It's
gone with one of
fine.
the Succession people, and maybe they will split the vote. But it seems like Brian Cox is the one pulling away with the momentum right now.
He is, yeah.
And exactly. So if enough people sort of just decide, okay, even if I did prefer Jeremy Strong, I still want one of the Succession people to win. I'll vote Brian Cox instead. I think Brian Cox will end up taking this. I think it's very hard to deny the performances in Succession are some of the best on TV right now, and some of the best in TV of all time. I'll happily say that.
Mm-hmm. He also hasn't won before, and Jeremy Strong
Exactly,
has.
yeah, that is another thing to play into it.
Yeah, it's. I don't
It's
know.
hard.
I don't know. I just like between like we brought up the vote splitting. Lee Jung Jae just doesn't make sense to me.
No,
I don't
Lee
know,
Jung Jae
it's-
doesn't make sense to me really either.
Mm.
But
It's an out there
I
pick.
can, yeah.
It's just I don't know. I'm going Odenkirk. Taking this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, I do think they don't really take into account the separate seasons, but I do think Ted Lasso season 2 airing during the voting of season 1 helped Brett Goldstein. because I think he
Right.
got more to do in the second season. But I just don't know how much passion there is for that show. So
I think that there's a lot now that it's ended, though.
yeah,
People love this final season. I haven't seen any of Better Call Saul.
Well, people didn't love the final
I haven't
season.
either.
People love the finale in particular.
Thomas,
Like,
it's got it like a 94 on Metacritic.
does it really? Okay.
Critics
Well,
adore, and
from what I've
obviously this
seen-
isn't critics, but like,
Yeah, from what
It
I've
did-
seen, a lot of people found the season itself to be a little ropey, but the finale sort of brought it all together. And like I will say, like, yeah, okay, Bob Odenkirk is a very serious contender here, but only if they are factoring in both
yeah,
parts of
the
series, which-
the first half of it is a 94 and the second half is a 95, and those are the two highest rated things of the year on Metacritic for TV. So like,
Okay, well,
I feel like, I don't know, obviously this isn't critics who are voting on this, but I feel like there's some passion here.
yes,
just
I think there
saying.
is passion. I just wonder how widespread it is. I wonder if it's a small
Yeah.
group that's passionate or if it's the whole that's passionate for it. And Bob Odenkirk did also have a recent like life scare where he
did as
had a
well,
heart
yeah.
attack
Yeah.
on set. So I don't know how much that would factor into voting per se.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
He
definitely
also-
possible.
He also was seen liking feet pics on Instagram, so I don't know how much that will
Oh.
factor into the
Yeah. I don't know.
positively or negatively. Who knows?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, it hurt Army Hammer's chances at the Oscars.
well, that isn't really equivalent.
No, I know.
Yeah, I think those are exactly the
Pretty
same
equivalent,
level
you know.
of weirdness.
Exactly.
Cannibalism, feet pics. Yeah, they're on
Yeah.
the same sort of level.
Absolutely.
Yeah, totally. No kink shaming here.
Well, maybe if it's cannibalism, maybe a bit of shaming for that one.
Maybe
well,
that
you know.
one. Maybe that one.
Yeah. People are into all sorts of things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
Best drama supporting actor. This is also a hard one. I think the Succession guys, the two frontrunners are obviously Kieran Culkin and Matthew McFadyen. I think because neither one of them.
Are you going to Young-Soo?
I'm considering it. I'm talking
Okay.
it out. I'm very much considering it just because Matthew McFadyen and Kieran Culkin they're like 1 and 2. They're very close. So I wonder if they'll vote split. And then Young-Soo, who is a standout within the show and submitted the right episode, even if that doesn't matter. But
yeah.
I think I'm gonna stick with Kieran Culkin because I think Succession has to win at least one of the acting categories if it's gonna win series. And I think this is its best shot in my opinion. So I'm gonna go with Kieran Culkin. But I'm
also going Kieran Culkin.
Yeah.
I mean, he also hasn't won yet. And like he's maybe my favorite performance in Succession, if I'm being honestly. Like he's just my personal standout. Like I think that he's absolutely phenomenal in it. I don't know. I feel like he is kind of I feel like it's different than like Jeremy Strong and Brian Cox. I feel like Kieran Culkin does have a bit more passion and support than McFadyen.
Yeah. He got more to do this season also. He had a very big presence this season.
They're definitely teasing that Tom will play a lot larger role in the next series. So maybe if they want to award Matthew McFadyen, they'll give it to him next year, which would be totally fine. I'd love to see them both win, obviously, because I love
a tie
in Succession. A tie. Well,
I wish.
I hate ties because that's the point of award shows. But yes, I've got Kieran Culkin as well. He is incredible. He's definitely one of my favorite performances. If not my favorite, I'd probably go Jeremy Strong with, but
yeah.
And like I think if these two aren't going to split the votes, I also going back to best actor. I don't know why necessarily the other two would split the votes either. Like
I just think that Kieran Culkin's I think that Kieran Culkin stands out much more from McFadyen than like either Cox or Strong do from each other. I think that they're a lot more close as far as what they have to do this season and like what they like the support. Then like I think that Kieran Culkin just has so much more to do this season than McFadyen does.
People
he mostly has
talk,
the last
though,
episode.
So, like, people talk. So if someone hears that someone's voting Brian Cox is the one from Succession, that will trigger change. Like I think it's someone of those two will be able to gain enough momentum to win. But anyway, that's going back to the acting category.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to John Turturro, who was very good in Severance.
Yes. Yeah.
Little dark horse there. Who knows?
Would love it. Would love it.
I would very much like that. Yeah. Now on to maybe the hard. I don't know if the actor I think was the hardest, but best drama supporting actress.
There's like 4.
There's a good amount here.
Yeah.
The one I'm currently gonna go with is Garner, just because she's won twice
Me
before.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, I've gone that as well. And especially
Yeah.
well,
Okay.
if they're gonna give Ozark something for its last series, here it is.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, she also got in for Inventing Anna, so I think they do clearly like her as an actress overall.
Right.
I do.
It's wild that she got in for Inventing Anna. Sorry to cut you
crazy.
off, but that's
no, it is crazy. I mean, that accent is definitely unique.
It's
is
something.
what it is. And I think that performance alone is somehow what got it into series somehow. But yeah,
Jesus,
it's
yeah.
mind-boggling. This is the one place where I could see honestly Better Call Saul surprising. I honestly feel like
Rhys Seehorn.
I've heard more buzz for Rhea Seehorn personally. I don't watch the show, but just within the ether.
Yeah. And
for
she
her
also
more
was
than
very good in
Oathker.
the first part of the series as well. Like she for me is a standout over Wollongong in that first part. So yeah, I could definitely see her winning. I mean, yeah, as I say, I've gone Julia Garner as well. Sarah Snook as well is still always there. And I think will be there until like we actually get the award. So like it's just whether they want to give like 3 out of 4 of the acting wins to Succession. That may play a factor. They may go, oh, we're giving Succession here. We can maybe ignore Sarah Snook this series. I'm sure she'll get a win. Maybe next season, maybe the season after that. I'm sure she'll win this role at some point.
Hopefully. I mean, you also have Jung Ho Yoon for Squid Game, and I think that's a pretty beloved performance. Like I said, I think that there's 4 here. You got Garner, you got Snook, you got Hyun, and you got Seehorn. And like, as you mentioned, I also don't watch Better Call Saul, but Rhea Seehorn, like, there just seems to be a lot of passion behind that performance. It seems very, very beloved.
She's great.
So
she's great.
I honestly wouldn't be shocked if it's any of those 4. Also, just quick shout out to Patricia Arquette and Severance. But like
the Emmys do love her. She's won twice.
That's true. That's true. Also, Sydney Sweeney in Euphoria, who I think is also
she's at parties right now. Some parties.
Yeah.
She's too busy to campaign.
Yeah. But I think that she was also quite good in Euphoria season 2. But like any of those top 4, Garner, Snook, Jung Hyun, and Seehorn.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked to see either of them win, but yeah, going Garner for now.
Yeah. The thing with Seehorn too is Bob Odenkirk has been nominated before and he's lost. She's never competed in this category, so we don't know how much passion for her performance there is per se. And there's also a lot of buzz about this being her first nomination and how overdue she is. And I also watched one of those actor roundtable things that she was on, and they were talking about it, and all the comments, it's probably an internet thing, but all the comments were like, Rhea Seehorn should win. There's some passion for her, definitely.
There's definitely passion, for sure.
So I'm tempted. I'm going to stick with Garner, though, just because she got a lot to do in the last season. And it's a very beloved character, and she's won twice before. So, yes. Okay. Best drama directing. This is, I think, where they're going to award Severance, rightfully so. I have Ben Stiller winning for the finale.
I think that this is where Thomas and I have Squid Game picking up an award.
We do.
For Red Light, Green Light.
I could see that.
This is where they honor Squid Game. So I sadly, like, I know a lot of people really love Severance. I just don't know if it's going to pick up anything. So yeah, I've gone Squid Game.
I think it overperformed.
It is a very directed show. Like there's a lot of stuff going on. A lot of the shots now have become iconic, especially the one where it's like downwards on looking, everyone climbing up the stairs. Like that's a pretty iconic shot now, and especially all of the stuff. Like there's a lot of directing going on. I can see why this one is the front runner currently, and I've got it.
I don't know. Yeah, just like again, I don't have Squid Game winning anywhere in the acting categories. So I feel like if they're going to honor Squid Game, it would be here with Red Light, Green Light. And like, it's just a really well directed episode. Like it's really well paced. It's great for like the world building. I think the Red Light, Green Light sequence in particular is just phenomenal. Like I didn't love Squid Game as a whole. I thought that it was good, but I just think that first the first game, the Red Light, Green Light game, just really, really well done. I really want it to be Severance. I also just kind of don't want to get my hopes up.
Yeah. I mean, it does help Squid Game that when you're voting and you see on the ballot the name of the episode, I think you instantly know what red light, green light is,
Right,
as
yeah.
opposed to Severance, it'll say the We Are, which is the finale, and
Yeah.
I think is the best structured episode. I
Mhm.
also just wonder because Jason Bateman surprised here in directing in previous years. So I wonder, like you mentioned earlier, how much being a name helps per se.
Yeah.
And Ben Stiller is a more recognized name than the director of Squid Game.
I think it's
Um,
number 2 because I
Yeah.
with like actor directors, actor writers, like I could see it. I do think it's number 2. I don't know. I feel like they have to give something to Squid Game.
Yeah.
And I feel like
I just
they
have
have
it
to
in a
give
different spot.
Like,
right,
I was
right.
like, well, they're probably going to either give some like this category is either they honor Severance or they honor Squid Game, which is more likely in my mind. I thought Squid Game, but
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
feel like
I'd
if
put Severance number 2. Yeah.
I feel like if they're going to only give one award to one of these two shows, it would be
Yeah.
Squid
Exactly.
Game, sadly. I would add to
Yeah.
the end of that. But I mean, I would not complain at all about a Severance win here. So
We shall see. Maybe a little bit of hope predicting there for me also, just because
Yeah.
that may be the best episode of television I've seen this entire season. Very well done.
it's pretty damn good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tight 41 minutes. I mean, it's very
Mhm.
good.
Yeah.
But best drama writing, I feel like this is a little easier. Succession doesn't have multiple
Yeah.
episodes. It's never
It's all the
lost
bells
here.
say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this
all the
this
bells
is
say.
my favorite
Just-
episode of TV I've seen all year. Like this is probably my
yeah,
favorite episode
that's
of
up there.
Succession, and that's saying something when Succession have had a multitude of just great episodes. And like
Yeah.
season 3 maybe wasn't as strong as the first two in terms of quality the whole way through. It was still great,
Mhm.
obviously, because it's Succession. But this episode I think was just amazing on all levels. But
Like
particularly
breathtaking
writing, it was
episode.
very, very tight. Yeah, and like
Yeah,
totally.
This surely, how could they not nominate this? Give it-
I think the runner up again for me though is We Are for Severance.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like this one's just obviously Succession though. It's just how could you not for that episode? Like for that how
In particular. Yeah. And
as you
he's
said-
Jesse Armstrong hasn't lost here.
Right,
It's
right. And also as you
super
said,
chill.
it's the only Succession episode, so no chance of vote splitting.
Mhm.
Like
No,
it's
yeah,
just
as well. That is an interesting bit.
it's obviously it's just obvious. Like what we're gonna say.
Agreed.
I would also say keep an eye out for this to surprise in directing. I know we already talked about it, but for drama directing, if they really want to go heavy in on on Succession, maybe they just don't do anything for Squid Game or Severance. Maybe like all the bells say just pick up both. I mean, because like the IMDb score on this episode is like insane. It's like one of the highest rated. It's like a 9.8. It's like one of the highest rated like things on IMDb ever. So this episode is like beloved and deservedly so. So like
I don't know. I just think it's hard to believe that they'll just ignore Severance and Squid Game completely. I think they'll want to give at least one of them something. And also like Succession isn't maybe like when you talk about Succession, not really talking about the directing. It is a lot of just still cameras,
no, I agree.
and stuff like that. So I think Squid Game is a lot more of a technical.
Squid Game and Severance are definitely stronger directed. I think.
See
Like,
them maybe going Succession.
I'm just saying keep an eye out for it. I
Yeah,
think it's
definitely.
the number 3, but keep an eye on it.
The only thing I worry about with that is the vote splitting because they have multiple episodes.
Yes, they have like
in there.
3 episodes. Yeah.
And the Crown has done that before, winning with multiple episodes submitted. But I think this is stronger competition for it. But also, I think the Too Much Birthday episode might be better directed from an overall direction standpoint than the finale.
I'd actually probably agree. Yeah.
But
I also would agree, but like just if you're thinking about what episode is the most memorable, you think about the finale. So yeah,
totally.
Yeah.
Those are our Emmy predictions for the upcoming Emmys. Comment your predictions and your thoughts on that down below. And where can they find you guys on the internet?
You can find me on Letterboxd at Thomas Gladstone, and I'm sure Trevor will give our YouTube channel, but it's Oscar Buzz. So
yeah, you can find us at Oscar Buzz right now. We're very deep into fall festival coverage. Lots of wild stuff going on there. wild
is.
things
Yes,
happening at
yes.
Venice. So
Yeah.
Rip
you can find
Party.
us there.
We're covering it all.
Yeah, we're talking about all of that. We obsess over the Oscars, and it was nice to talk about some TV. We've debated
Yeah.
doing some Emmys coverage.
Yeah,
Maybe
we
next
decided
season.
not
Maybe
to
next
this year, but like maybe next
Yeah.
season. Yeah.
maybe next season
Yeah.
we'll do some. But yeah, so you can find
Cool.
us at Oscar Buzz. I'm also on Twitter at Team Talks Movies and Letterboxd Trevor Matson. All the places. I talk about movies too much.
Awesome. Me too. So yeah, thank you
As we all do.
guys. Yeah, thank you guys for joining. And
Absolutely.
we will see you whenever we see you next. Bye.
Yeah.